In the heart of East Africa lies Tanzania, a land of vast plains, red earth, and quiet strength. Hidden among its northern hills is a small village that seems untouched by time, a place where days blend together, where faces age slowly, and where life follows the same rhythm it has for generations. Kalenga may not appear on most maps, yet it holds something the modern world has almost forgotten: the ability to live simply, without hurry, without noise, and without fear of time passing. Here, technology fades, but connection grows stronger. Families work, share, and rest together under the same sun that has watched over them for centuries. Scientists, travelers, and storytellers have come searching for an explanation, but what they find is something deeper, a way of life that makes time feel different. This is the story of Kalenga, the Tanzanian village where life moves slowly and no one seems to grow old. Life in the village of Kalenga. Kalenga, a remote village in northern Tanzania, has become the focus of curiosity for researchers and travelers who claim time seems to move differently there. The settlement, hidden between dry hills and acacia trees, is home to only a few hundred people who live almost entirely off the land. At sunrise, smoke rises from clay huts as families begin their daily routine. Men walking miles to farm the red soil, women drawing water from natural wells, and children running barefoot through the fields before attending a small mud brick school. There is no power grid, no paved roads, and barely any connection to the outside world. Yet the people of Kolinga appear strikingly healthy and youthful compared to nearby communities. Locals attribute it to clean air, natural food, and a life free from stress. To scientists, it's a mystery worth studying. To visitors, it feels like stepping into a version of life humanity left behind decades ago. Everything here follows a natural rhythm. Sunrise dictates work, and sunset calls for rest. When darkness falls, the only light comes from fires that flicker through the village like stars on the ground. Kalinga remains isolated, but its way of life has drawn global attention as one of the few remaining examples of human society living almost untouched by modern time. The Maasai culture, the pride of Tanzania. Across the vast plains of northern Tanzania, the Maasai people stand as one of Africa's most recognized and enduring cultures. Their tall frames, red shuka garments, and intricate beadwork have become symbols of identity, strength, and heritage. For generations, the Maasai have lived as semi-nomadic herders, moving with their cattle across the savannas in search of fresh grass and water. In a region where modern development pushes fast, their traditions have remained almost unchanged. What makes them remarkable is how they balance survival with pride. Cattle are not just livestock, they represent life, wealth, and spiritual connection. Every Maasai child grows up learning that the health of the herd mirrors the health of the community. Daily life revolves around these animals, milking, trading, and performing rituals that honor both nature and ancestry. The Maasai believe that strength is not only physical but spiritual, and their famous jumping dance, known as the Adamu, is more than a performance. It's a show of endurance, unity, and respect for the earth that sustains them. Despite tourism and globalization, most Masai villages still follow the old customs. Men wear red to symbolize bravery, women craft jewelry that tells their life stories, and elders hold authority as the keepers of wisdom. In many parts of Tanzania, people say the Maasai never rush, never forget, and never change, a living connection between the ancient and the present. Their resilience, discipline, and unshaken cultural pride have turned them into a living testament of human endurance in harmony with nature. The taste of Tanzania, simplicity that sustains life. Food in Tanzania is more than nourishment. It is community, history, and survival shaped by the land itself. In villages like Kalenga, meals are prepared slowly with ingredients grown just steps away from the home. The staple dish is ugali, a thick porridge made from maize flour, served with vegetables, beans, or grilled meat. It is eaten with hands, shared from a single bowl, and always accompanied by conversation. The simplicity of Tanzanian cuisine hides its purpose. Every dish is built for energy and endurance. Farmers need strength to work under the blazing sun. Herders travel long distances, and children spend hours walking to school. Everything they eat is local: cassava, banana, sweet potato, goat meat, and milk fresh from the morning's milking. In urban areas like Arusha or Dar es Salaam, the food scene blends tradition with influence from India and the Middle East. Spiced rice, samosas, and chapati are common sights, but in rural communities, firewood still burns under clay pots, and meals remain slow and communal. Visitors often notice how fresh everything tastes, untouched by preservatives or machines. Women are the keepers of recipes passed down through generations, each dish a memory of ancestors who lived from the same soil. Scientists studying diet in these regions have noted unusually low rates of heart disease and obesity, suggesting that the simple balance of grains, vegetables, and natural fats may be part of what keeps Tanzanians healthy well into old age. In Kalenga, food isn't a luxury. It's the reason life continues smoothly, one meal at a time, just as it has for centuries. Children of the Sun, growing up in Tanzania. In Tanzania's rural villages, childhood looks different from most of the modern world. Days begin with the sunrise, when the air is still cool and the sound of roosters echoes across the fields. Children help with chores before school, fetching water, herding goats, or tending small gardens. Their classrooms are simple mud brick buildings with wooden benches, but inside them is a sense of determination. Education here is more than a goal. It is hope. Many children walk several kilometers each morning just to attend lessons, often barefoot, carrying a single notebook. Yet their faces rarely show exhaustion. They laugh easily, play soccer with makeshift balls made of cloth, and sing songs that tell stories of nature and family. Without screens or distractions, their imagination stays wide open. Childhood in Tanzania teaches resilience early, how to adapt, share, and survive. These children grow up close to the earth, learning that happiness isn't found in possessions but in connection, in the rhythm of daily life under the same bright sun that rises for everyone. The Elders, wisdom of a slower life. In every Tanzanian village, the elders hold a special place, not as rulers but as living archives of experience. They are the keepers of stories, traditions, and lessons that no book records. Sitting beneath acacia trees or by the evening fire, they speak softly, guiding the younger generations with words shaped by decades of observation. Their lives move at a slower rhythm, but their minds remain sharp. Many of them have never seen a city, yet they carry an understanding of balance that modern society often forgets. They eat lightly, walk daily, and live surrounded by family. Their sense of time is circular, not linear. Every season, every harvest repeats, and so does the wisdom that comes with it. In Tanzania, to grow old is not to fade. It is to become the voice of the community. Elders are sought out for decisions, blessings, and stories that connect the present to the past. Watching them, it becomes clear why people say life here seems untouched by age. Theirs is not eternal youth, but a kind of peace that slows the body's clock, a quiet endurance that comes from living in harmony with the world around them. The women of Tanzania, the heart of the village. In Tanzania's rural communities, women form the foundation of daily life. They are farmers, caregivers, traders, and storytellers all at once. From the first light of morning, they move through the village with purpose, carrying water in large containers balanced perfectly on their heads, tending to small crops, and preparing food for their families. Markets across Tanzania pulse with their energy, filled with the colors of fresh produce and the sound of voices bargaining in Swahili. Beyond their work, women are the keepers of culture. They weave bright kitenge fabrics, each pattern symbolizing family, strength, and love. During festivals, they sing traditional songs that celebrate birth, marriage, and harvest. Though life can be demanding, their resilience defines the rhythm of the community. In many ways, the calm order of village life depends on them. Generations of knowledge, how to plant, cook, heal, and teach, pass through their hands. For outsiders, the women of Tanzania might seem ordinary. For their families, they are the quiet strength that keeps everything moving. Their laughter, endurance, and sense of unity are what give these villages their pulse, and perhaps their timeless spirit. Nature and the land, Tanzania's living heart. Tanzania's land is a vast stage where life plays out in its purest form. From the snow-capped peak of Mount Kilimanjaro to the endless plains of Serengeti, nature here feels alive, unpredictable, powerful, and deeply connected to the people who depend on it. In places like Kalenga, the soil itself sustains families. Farmers read the seasons by watching the color of the sky, the flight of birds, and the movement of clouds. When rain finally arrives after months of dry heat, the entire landscape transforms. Rivers swell, crops rise, and the air fills with the scent of new life. For Tanzanians, the land is more than a resource, it is part of identity. Many communities believe every mountain, river, and tree carries its own spirit. Respecting nature isn't an environmental ideal, it's survival. Villagers plant only what they need, hunt sparingly, and teach their children that the earth always gives back if treated with care. In a world where technology dominates daily life, Tanzania remains one of the few places where the balance between humans and nature still feels real. The land here doesn't just feed the body, it shapes the soul. The spirit of community. Strength in togetherness. In Tanzanian villages, community is not a concept. It is a way of life. No one stands alone, and every event, from birth to death, belongs to everyone. When a new child is born, the entire village gathers to celebrate. When someone falls ill, neighbors share food and help with the harvest. There are no written rules. Cooperation is instinct. In Kalenga, people say, a person is a person through others. This belief, deeply rooted in African philosophy, keeps the bonds of the village strong. Evening gatherings are common, families sitting around fires, exchanging news, telling stories, or simply listening to the night. It's in these moments that the heart of Tanzanian life becomes clear. Survival here is collective. Each success, each hardship is shared. Even in times of drought or struggle, laughter finds a way to return. Outsiders often describe this unity as the reason for the villagers' calm and long lives, the absence of loneliness, the constant presence of support. It all forms a quiet shield against the pressures that age the modern world. In Tanzania, community isn't built. It is inherited, lived, and passed forward, generation after generation. Faith and belief, the invisible strength of the people. Faith runs deep in Tanzania, shaping how people see life, death, and the space in between. Across the country, belief systems mix seamlessly. Christianity, Islam, and ancient tribal traditions coexist without conflict. In villages like Kolinga, faith isn't confined to temples or churches. It's part of the land itself. Prayers are whispered before planting seeds, blessings are given before long journeys, and gratitude follows every harvest. Elders often speak of Roho, the spirit that connects all living things, a force that guides the community through hardship. For many, faith provides a sense of order in a world that can feel unpredictable. Even when droughts hit or crops fail, there's a calm acceptance rooted in the belief that everything happens within a greater design. Religious gatherings bring people together through song and rhythm, drums echoing through the night, hands clapping in unison, voices rising in gratitude. These shared rituals bind the community tighter, offering emotional strength that no material wealth can replace. To outsiders, such devotion may seem simple. To Tanzanians, it is the foundation of endurance. Faith here isn't just practiced. It is lived, woven into every decision, every hope, and every sunrise that greets the land. Lessons from a timeless land, what Tanzania teaches the modern world. Tanzania offers a quiet lesson to a world that moves too fast. In places like Kalenga, there are no deadlines, no endless noise, and no constant rush to become something more. Life unfolds naturally, guided by purpose instead of pressure. The people here show that happiness does not come from technology or wealth, but from balance, with nature, with time, and with one another. Modern societies often chase progress at the cost of peace. Yet in Tanzania, progress is measured differently, in community, in health, in the ability to endure. Scientists who study these regions often return, not with answers, but with perspective. The strength of Tanzanians lies not in avoiding hardship, but in facing it together. Their resilience, kindness, and simplicity reveal something that many have forgotten, that life is richest when it is shared, not owned. Kalenga may seem small, even forgotten by the modern world, but it holds something that progress can't replicate, a sense of continuity. Here, every sunrise feels familiar, every face known, every heartbeat part of the same rhythm. In a time when the rest of the world measures success by how fast it moves, Tanzania stands still, and in that stillness, it thrives. As the sun sets over the Tanzanian plains, The sounds of life fade into the rhythm of crickets and distant drums. Villages like Kalenga fall quiet, fires burn low, and the night sky opens wide above them, a reminder of how small and yet how connected human life truly is. In this place, there are no walls between people and nature, no race against time. Everything exists in balance, the land gives, and the people give back. Perhaps that is why age moves slowly here, not because time stops, but because no one tries to outrun it. Tanzania teaches that peace is not found in isolation or in speed, but in belonging to a community, to a landscape, to a way of living that values enough over more. When the modern world forgets to breathe, places like Kalenga remind us how to listen again, to the earth, to one another, and to the quiet pulse of life that never truly grows old.